Gloria, I just don't know, Gloria. You mean every time somebody watches The Lord of Lyrics, another child is born in India? I'm not going to blame you if the guy's a nut. Look, Gloria, I gotta go.
Is he a dot or is he a speck? Come with me as we find out on today's episode. It's Particle Man by They Might Be Giants.
Particle Man, doing the things a particle can. What's he like? It's not important. Particle Man, is he a dot or is he a speck? When he's a...
Hark, all of you music lovers, and welcome to my workshop of weird and wondrous wordsmithery. Some call me the son of sonnet, the professor of prose, or the maestro of meaning. But here I am called the Lord of Lyrics, host of the channel where lyrics reign supreme. They Might Be Giants formed in 1982. John Flansburgh teamed up with John Linnell. They might be rain, they might be heat. They might even be frying up a stalk of wheat. And they might just be the most creative band in the world. They Might Be Giants wrote the theme song for The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, as well as Malcolm in the Middle. In 1990, the Giants released their quintessential album, Flood. That album had many hits and got serious play on the radio. Hits from Flood include Istanbul, Birdhouse in Your Soul, and today's song, Particle Man. So what do Particle Man's lyrics mean? John Linnell actually talked about this in the documentary Gigantic, A Tale of Two Johns, where he said, quote, "Nothing is missing from your understanding of Particle Man." And that ends my episode, folks. Goodbye, everyone. Just kidding. I'm actually going to be analyzing these lyrics, but what John is saying is don't read too much into these lyrics. Read them for what they are and try to understand them. The first thing I just want to say to the audience is that I think this song is a hit precisely because of the lyrics. While the music is catchy, it's really the lyrics that sets this song apart. And from the very opening, you start to see how creative these guys are. Let me put on my headphones and we'll go through this.
Particle Man, doing the things a particle can. What's he like? It's not important. Particle Man.
All right, so let's talk about why this song's appealing. We're talking about a particle man. Have you heard a song about a particle man before? I sure haven't. And so already this song just gets your attention. And I believe the song has appeal to both men and women. Women, as it turns out, like little bitty things. I dare you to show a little teeny pair of shoes. See if you can find the world's smallest shoes and show them to your wife or your girlfriend, and I guarantee she's going to think they're adorable. Try to find the world's littlest scissors, and she's also going to coo over those. And so women already are going to like Particle Man just because he's teeny tiny. What even is a particle? No one knows, as the song will soon reveal. For us guys, we like the song automatically because he's talking about superheroes or comic book figures or action heroes. And so Particle Man's kind of reminds us of Superman or Batman. It just grabs our attention because it's familiar to us. We like characters with the last name Man. But here he is coming up with almost like a new intellectual property, like a new IP. And so he introduces this character, and then he immediately says, Particle Man, what's he like? It's not important. He also says, Particle Man doing the things a particle can. Well, what can a particle do? We think that John might get into this, but he never actually reveals this. Let me play that clip again.
Particle Man, doing the things a particle can. What's he like? It's not important. Particle Man.
Okay, so what's he like? It's not important. Well, John, you brought him up. Let me play the next clip for you guys.
Is he a dot or is he a speck? When he's underwater, does he get wet? Or does the water get him instead? Nobody knows. Particle Man.
All right. So again, John is just shrouding this with mystery. He's introducing a character, Particle Man, and then he asks us, like we're supposed to know, is he a dot or is he a speck? Which is really funny because a dot and a speck, they're kind of synonymous, but it gets you kind of thinking, like, is a dot bigger than a speck? I mean, I don't know. And at a certain point, you start to wonder, is John creating Particle Man? Is he telling us about a new superhero? Or has he discovered Particle Man in a microscope or something? And so this is a really funny way to start out a song. I did want to go back to one part here when he talks about when he's underwater. Let's check out that part one more time.
Is he a dot or is he a speck? When he's underwater, does he get wet? Or does the water get him instead? Nobody knows. Particle Man.
Okay, so part of the reason I love this song so much is it's just funny. I mean, is he a dot or is he a speck? When he's underwater, does he get wet? Or does the water get him? And the way I'd like to best describe that, at least how I've got it worked out, is if you were to picture a little salt particle or a little salt grain, if you were to put salt in water, does the water get salty? Does the water get it? Or does the salt get wet? And so which property is playing strongest on which thing? And so you could picture like a glass full of thousands of or billions of little particle men. Does the glass become flavored like Particle Man, or are all the little particle men getting wet? And so this is just kind of one of these abstract concepts that's just really funny. Let me play the next clip for you guys.
Triangle Man, Triangle Man, Triangle Man hates Particle Man. They have a fight, Triangle wins, Triangle Man.
Okay, so we get an introduction to a new character. His name is Triangle Man. And John's not asking a lot of questions about Triangle Man. I have a few questions. A Triangle Man, I mean, a triangle really may not even exist in 3D space. A triangle is really a concept in 2 dimensions. It's basically a shape with 3 sides. And so a man who's based on a triangle, it almost makes you wonder, is he a concept? Is he real? Is he just kind of a physical or a non-physical entity? What even is a Triangle Man? And he doesn't have as many questions about Triangle Man. He simply states that he hates Particle Man, and then they have a fight. Here, I'll play it again.
Triangle Man, Triangle Man, Triangle Man hates Particle Man. They have a fight, Triangle wins, Triangle Man.
All right, so this again opens more questions, and I think that's kind of the appeal of this song is you're trying to figure out what in the world is going on here. We have a triangle, a 2D shape, fighting a particle. Exactly how they fight, it's not explained. Let's move on now to the next character in this story.
Universe Man, size of the entire universe, man. Usually kind to smaller man. Universe Man, he's got a watch with a minute hand, millennium hand, and an eon hand. And when they meet, it's a happy land. Powerful man, Universe Man.
All right, so Universe Man. I think this character is a lot more straightforward. I think most of us would understand Universe Man is synonymous for God or our Father in heaven. The Universe Man, he's stated that he's powerful. He's usually kind to smaller man, which is kind of funny. Maybe that's just kind of John's take on religion, that God is usually kind to humans. He also foreshadows, by saying he's usually kind, he foreshadows maybe helping us understand why Universe Man is allowing Triangle Man to beat up on Particle Man and later on to Person Man, as we'll find out in a minute. I really like this section, though, that he says that he has a watch with a minute hand and a millennium hand and an eon hand. Let me play that again.
Universe Man, size of the entire universe, man. Usually kind to smaller man. Universe Man, he's got a watch with a minute hand, millennium hand, and an eon hand. And when they meet, it's a happy land. Powerful man, Universe Man.
Okay, so we're familiar with the minute hand. We have those on our watches. The millennium hand is really funny. It's a hand that points to which millennium it is, which 1,000-year period. And then an eon hand, I had to look up what an eon is. It's basically an almost incomprehensible amount of time or an eternity. In geologic terms, an eon is 1 billion years. So an eon is really long, and yet Universe Man has this watch that has all of these interesting hands. And when they line up, it's a happy land, or he's really happy when those hands line up. If you could kind of picture when you're driving in your car and your odometer hits 100,000 miles, aren't you kind of happy, like, wow, I've hit a milestone? So when the minute hand, the millennium hand, and the eon hand are all in the same position, that doesn't happen very often, and everyone parties, I guess, in that situation. It does remind me of a quote about the word soon when it comes to how God looks at the word soon. Neil Maxwell said, "Wristwatch-wearing mortals are still not well positioned to determine what soon means to him who oversees cosmic clocks and calendars." Or also in 2 Peter 3:8, "With the Lord, a day is 1,000 years." So you can see that this must be God. He's got a minute hand, a millennium hand, and an eon hand. Well, let's now move to person man.
Person man, hit on the head with a frying pan, lives his life in a garbage can. Person man, is he depressed or is he a mess? Does he feel totally worthless? Who came up with person man? Degraded man, person man.
Okay. I remember when I first heard this song, I felt a little bit sad for person man, and I wondered who this was. Nothing's going right for him. He's being hit over the head with a frying pan. He's living in a garbage can. And then I remembered, it reminds me of when I was a kid. We used to sing, "Popeye the Sailor Man, he lives in a garbage can." So I don't know if John Linnell did that intentionally or not, but I think he may have lifted some kids' lyrics of Popeye the Sailor Man. But person man, in this whole story, he's really the only one we can relate to. He's us. He's men and women, human beings. And I just wanted to remind you what John Linnell said was the key to this song. He said, quote, "There's nothing missing from your understanding of particle man." So person man is just us. He's a person like you and I. I do think he takes a little bit of a dark tone when he says, who came up with person man? I think that's kind of like saying, is life a joke? Did we come from nowhere? Did someone come up with us, like as some kind of entertainment? And so that's a little bit of the dark side of the song. But before we go a little further with person man, I just want to review. John Linnell has introduced to us to three characters. So we have particle man, who is pretty much the smallest thing you can conceive. So picture the most minute thing that there could possibly be. So that's particle man. And then you have triangle man, who's kind of incomprehensible. How could a man be a triangle? It just doesn't really make sense. But he's our enemy. He's the villain of the story. And then you have universe man, which is the most infinite creature or being that you could imagine. So you have the finite, the most small in particle man, and then the most infinite or infinite in universe man. And so when you come now to person man, or to us, we are set right in the middle of the finite and the infinite. All right, so I actually asked ChatGPT to help me understand how big a person is compared to the universe. And so where we started is we figured that a human being, a man or woman, we're about 1 meter. And so if you were to scale down to the size of an atom is 10 to the minus 10th smaller than a meter, or 10 to the minus 10th meter, basically. Very, very small. And so then I asked ChatGPT, tell me an object that's exactly larger in the other direction. And it understood exactly what I was asking. It's pretty amazing. And it came up with our sun. Our sun is almost 10 to the 10th larger than a meter, or 10 to the power of 10 meters big. And so that puts a human being exactly halfway on a cosmic scale between an atom and the sun. And I'm not sure if I know if that means anything. I don't know if that means anything at all. But I do find it's very interesting that John Linnell wrote a song about the very, very small and the very, very large, and that human beings seem to be right in the middle. So we're the center of attention. And again, he talks about who came up with person man. Let me play that again.
Person man, hit on the head with a frying pan, lives his life in a garbage can. Person man, is he depressed or is he a mess? Does he feel totally worthless? Who came up with person man? Degraded man, person man.
So he's written a song where we have the very small, the particle, then we have the very large, the universe, and then we have person man in the middle who's having a hard time. I do think it's interesting that of all these concepts, that only we can experience hardship. Only we can experience sadness. Now, the song doesn't mention it, but it's true. Isn't it the case also that only we can experience joy and only we can have an ice cream cone or watch a sunset or listen to Particle Man by They Might Be Giants? So life isn't all bad, but we're the only ones that can experience suffering. And here's where the song gets interesting, because when you're telling a story, normally you have the protagonist, he faces a challenge. He or she has to face up to a villain and eventually come out triumphant and learn quite a bit in the process. But in this case, there's a twist to the end of this song. So let me go ahead and play that, and then we'll get into the meaning.
Triangle man, triangle man, triangle man hates person man. They have a fight, triangle wins, triangle man.
Okay, so in this song, our protagonist, our hero, doesn't win. That dang triangle man wins. and that might actually be part of the appeal of the song, because it's left unresolved. This song is completely unresolved. You're sitting there, you've just got done listening to it. There's this happy music that's kind of confusing. Okay, triangle man beats up particle man. He also beats up person man, who's totally pathetic. And then we're happy about it for some reason. So what does that even mean? Why the triumphant music at the end? And why the jubilation at this triangle man who's winning? Why set up a story with a villain only to have the villain win? What does it mean? Well, I think John, whether or not he did it intentionally, I think John is basically making an argument for acceptance. He's saying, you are not going to defeat Triangle Man. You and I, we're going to die someday. You and I are going to have troubles. Try as we may, we're not defeating Triangle Man, okay? But we can be happy in spite of that. We can be happy in spite of knowing that we're going to die. We can be happy knowing that even though these bodies are flesh and blood, we're mortal, that life is still to be enjoyed. And this rung true to me even more when I played another version from another album of this very song. And in this case, John plays the part about Triangle Man in a minor key. Let me play that now.
Triangle man, triangle man, triangle man hates person man. They have a fight, triangle wins, triangle man.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and tell me in the comments below which song you'd like me to review next. This is the Lord of Lyrics, home of the channel where lyrics reign supreme.